It's acres and move makers.
It's acres and move makers.
I deal with land flippers, acres and move makers, room shakers, big boys with huge paper, the newspapers. You can run but can't escape us. We winning with these flash green when they act racist. Success is so contagious.
Let's go. It's acres and move makers.
Welcome to Acres and Move Makers. My name is Ray.
My name is Jay.
And we are
Acre Boys.
Today, we want to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects, and that's traits of successful people.
Now, when we're talking about traits of successful people, here's a couple of things that come to mind, right? Successful people are always looking to learn. Successful people are always reaching out and taking in new ideas and concepts, right? Because when we talk about being successful, that's subjective depending on who you're talking to. My version of successful is being financially successful, spiritually, and all those different things mixed together, right? But first of all, before anything else, you have to be willing to learn, right? And when I mean willing to learn, you got to be willing to go ahead and take in some new information that you not necessarily were privy to before, right? So that information can come from a lot of different places, right? That information can come from books, that information can come from seminars, live seminars, whatever the case may be. I remember reading a book, and this guy told me before, if I was to turn off the music that I was listening to at that point in time and just drive over a certain amount of hours, I would have an equivalent of an associate or a bachelor's degree, right? So what kind of information are you actually taking in? That's what I've grown to know and understand what makes the huge difference inside of your life. If I'm listening to people who are successful in some way, shape, fashion, form, or degree, keep in mind what I'm bringing into my mind is what I'm going to actually bring out into physical reality. So just keep being open-minded about it. Remember, always keep a white belt mentality. You don't know what you don't know. So in that very same course of action, you're going to have to expand and keep on growing. When I first got around our mentors used to tell us things like, well, how do you feel about money, or whatever the case may be? And the number one thing that I got from that was, some of us may feel a certain way about achieving money, whatever the case may be, or may even feel subconsciously or why we don't actually deserve it, or whatever the case may be. So these are some of those underlying beliefs that you're going to have to dig up in order to actually put yourself forward. Even if we're talking about spirituality, right? From a spiritual standpoint, going inside of yourself and just seeing it from the end. Anybody who's familiar with a guy named Neville Goddard, you can look him up. He always talks about seeing things from the end, thinking from as opposed to thinking of. When you think from something, that means you've already established it and you've already done. When you think of it, that means that it implies distance, or whatever the case may be. So my major thing for understanding and traits of successful people are always willing to learn and are always willing to accept change. Most people are not willing to learn, especially when they think they know everything. So that's my take on successful traits of people.
Oh, I like this topic, right? Successful people, right? Because it's been a journey. It's been a journey for the Acre Boys. We didn't get to where we're at this day in the beginning. It's been a process. It's an ongoing process. It's a life-going process, right? And on this journey, it's not about how much money we made. It's not about how much land we bought or sold. It's not even about how many people we helped inside of the land space. It's about who we have become to this day. What have we learned on this journey, right? Because life is expansion. Human beings' natural instinct is to evolve and expand, right? So my definition of success is, first and foremost, if you're breathing, if you're alive, if you woke up this morning, you're successful. This lady said this at a seminar that we went to, and I thought that was very powerful. If you woke up this morning, you're successful because you have a chance to go out and do some things that you like to do. Second is goal setting, right? Because that is like a loaded question. What does success mean? You ask 10 people, you get 10 different answers. We tend to think that it just means finances. Not necessarily true. Everybody is not motivated by money. Some people come from well-to-do families, so money may not be an issue for them. Usually money is an issue for people that don't have money, right? Common sense. So a person that comes from wealth already, what are their goals and what do they look at as a successful person. So it could be, as Jay stated, it could be finances, it could be personal things. I will tell you this, from all successful people that we have been around, is them hitting whatever their goals are. Whatever their goals they have set for themselves, it's hitting those goals. It's achieving those goals. If that's jumping out of a plane and you knock that off of your list, that's why we talk about when we write things down and checking them off that list, you'll feel something. You'll feel gratitude. You'll feel a sense of accomplishment. You'll feel a sense of achievement because you see that you're doing something and you're producing something and you're Xing it off as you're going. The other thing that we learned about successful people as it pertains to finances. Let's talk about finances because I know that's what you want to hear. And people that we've been around, everybody that has achieved or amassed a substantial amount of money that we've been around thus far, they all do certain things. They all read. They all reach out and reach up. They all have mentors, things like that. They all have tight schedule. They're all very disciplined in their approach on how they handle business and things like that. They all have mentors. I don't know if you ever heard us say, if your mentor doesn't have a mentor, that shouldn't be your mentor, right? So they're constantly trying to evolve. They learn how to delegate. That's another key one. So everybody that we've been around that has done something on a high level, they share these same traits. They share these same exact traits that we just mentioned. I haven't met one that doesn't have a few of those traits that we just mentioned. Because you don't get to these levels by not having some of these things. They all are very consistent in their approach and what they do, right? And most of them, 9 out of 10 of them, they don't do. When we're going to make a video about what unsuccessful people do, they don't do what unsuccessful. That's why it's 2 different words. There's a difference between unsuccessful habits and successful habits. And successful people don't have unsuccessful habits. That's just a fact. And how do we cultivate a habit? By doing something on a daily basis. It becomes a habit, consciously or unconsciously. Whatever you do on a daily basis, Jay mentioned whatever you're going inside your ears, whatever you listen to, whatever you do, whatever you listen to, whatever you're around, unconsciously, you are setting habits. Successful people consciously make an effort to set good habits. Actual fact. They get up at a certain time. I think unsuccessful people think that when successful people do things, they enjoy doing it. Not necessarily true. Do you think when I go to the gym, Jay too, we go to the gym at least 5 times a week. Do you think we actually love going to the gym? Not true. I wish I could just, look the way without going.
You say look the way I look? Is that what you was going to say?
Yeah. But I wish that it worked that way. I wish that we could just get up, put our clothes on, and I look this way. But it takes some effort. You have to physically go. There's times where we go to the gym, and he knows, where I just sit in the car because I don't want to go in.
Right.
But I force myself to go. You have to do something. These are all successful traits. These are some of the things that we've seen personally that successful people share, these kind of traits. And we probably can go on and on about these things, but these are just some of the things that we wanted to talk about in this video. Chime in. Let me know if there's some other thoughts or other things that you've seen in your habitat that successful people do, because we're students of the game. We're not trying to act like we're gurus. We're students of the game, and anything that we could take and impart it into ourselves, even that you could bring to us, we're willing to listen. That's that white belt mentality that Jay was talking about. We keep a white belt mentality, know you don't know it all, and constantly be seeking new information. And last but not least, don't seek it, execute on the good information.
That's for sure. Do what you said you were going to do long after the feeling you said it in is gone, because emotions play a part in all of these different kind of things, right? Like he was just talking about. You can wake up and not feel like doing it, but what shows who you are inside is not when you feel like doing it, it's when you don't feel like doing it. That's what shows what the real person is inside. So that's it, y'all.
Next time, like, comment,
subscribe, all that.
And we'll catch you on the next video. Y'all know the motto. Best in dirt.
Cleanest way to make money. Peace, y'all.